Welcome to the deep dive in movie review at Uncle Ren's Popcorn. I'm your host, Uncle Ren's. So last night, Superman versus Batman. We're gonna go ahead and give this movie 7 kernels. This was the first, maybe the second time DC has come out recently with a movie that is comparable to what the Marvel franchise has been able to put up. It was a cinematic good movie. The special effects were good. A little over the top with Doomsday, but for all other special effects, it was pretty good. And just like in Man of Steel, a lot of unknown people die in this movie. So for all the rhetoric of Batman throughout the movie about how, Superman, this alien, has killed all these people, Batman does a lot of killing himself. So contrary to what the comic books and the lore of Batman about him not killing people, there's a lot of indirect and sometimes direct killing going on with Batman. So, I forgot to tell you, spoiler alert, but you should know that. Now, as far as the movie goes, it's still a good movie. It lasted for 2.5 hours. You really don't feel the 2.5 hours. And even though they're trying to put a lot of subplots in there, it still works itself out. It's still a good movie. Still recommend you to go see it. The cameos of Flash and Aquaman, the way they did it was good. It was decent, but I would have preferred it done a different way. The foreshadowing of Darkseid in the dream sequence of Batman, as well as at the end with Lex Luthor, that was pretty decent. The way they did that one, actually I like the way that one was done, so that was pretty good. But as far as the rest of the movie, Wonder Woman, even though she didn't have as much screen time as Wonder Woman, the time frame she's in there, Wonder Woman is like seriously bad. She's a bad girl, period. So one of the things I think that they should have done, honestly, is they should have copied Marvel. Since you're copying Marvel with the Darkseid and Thanos deal, you should have copied Marvel with doing a Wonder Woman movie first, doing a Flash movie, doing a Cyborg movie, and doing an Aquaman movie, since those are evidently going to be the primary characters that's going to be brought into the Justice League, and maybe another Green Lantern movie. No, how that other one was, but maybe if they did it that way and brought it up to this part with Doomsday, because Doomsday is a big character here. This is a massive character for them to just go ahead and usher him in and out in this first movie like that. But of course, if you know about Doomsday, the guy just never dies. He just comes back stronger. So I'm sure there's a way that they can bring him back. And lastly, before we get into the deep diving aspect of it, Snyder, we like end credits. Just because the movie is 2.5 hours long, still give us our end credits. And from what I understand, there's no end credits with Suicide Squad, but we like our end credits. But there's no end credits, so don't sit around and wait for the end credits at the end of the movie. You can go ahead and leave. And as far as the deep diving aspect of it, the main thing that this movie kind of gets across in the back of your mind is that no matter how good you are, no matter what you're doing to help people, to live your life, to be the best you can be in society, there are those who are going to look at it negatively, because everything you do has an effect on somebody else. See, that's the other thing. There is cause and effect. You see, if you go and you save this group of people, then why didn't you save that group of people? When the government tried to say, okay, well, we're going to sanction you, and there was a line where a guy says, how are you going to tell a parent that the government won't allow Superman to save their child? So it's like you can't win. All you can do is do the best that you can do in life. All you can do is take whatever you have, your abilities, whatever Batman's abilities were, he took those and he used them to do the best he could. Yes, destruction caused, property damage caused, lives were lost. Superman, massive numbers of lives, massive amount of destruction, civil destruction occurred. And yes, it all has a cost. Superman's fight with General Zod caused a man to become a paraplegic. So yes, he killed that dude, and he may have saved the world as a whole, but in the saving of the world as a whole, many people died, many people were injured, many people are psychosomatically damaged. It's so, there are always a ripple effect, and the ripple effect is not always going to be for the betterment of everybody. So the overall message of that is that you can't please everyone, and but you do have to be mindful that if you do this one thing here, that there's an effect on somebody else, and that effect may be good for them, it may not be good for them. But even if it doesn't initially seem good for them, later on it may be a good thing for them. So, be mindful of that as you live your life, that you can't please everybody. But in your walk, make sure that you are trying to do the least amount of harm as possible. But sometimes you do have to make that decision that's for the greater good. I mean, some things in life is just Granny's peach tea. And after you see this movie, you'll understand that saying. And that's one of my new sayings for this year. Sometimes life is just Granny's peach tea, and sometimes you just gotta drink it. Sometimes you just gotta drink Granny's peach tea. But so as far as that's concerned, that's a good part of the movie. Now the other part is that sometimes just because something is different, just because something caused such a calamity, just because there is a person develops a power or has a power, and that power seems like nothing else can compare to it, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to become evil. Well, we have the saying, I think it's something like ultimate power or unlimited power corrupts. If you have ultimate power, then you're ultimately corrupt, or something like that. But however that saying goes, you know what it goes. But that doesn't necessarily ring true. Depending upon a person's upbringing, depending upon a person's life, depending on a person's character, they can make the most money in the world. It doesn't mean that they're going to become evil. It seems like, especially in America, every time somebody becomes wealthy, everybody believes that they're evil. Everybody believes that they have stepped on other people's necks to get there, that they're part of the Illuminati, that they're a secret society and they're trying to destroy the world or control the world. Just because a person becomes successful financially, we take this idea that they naturally will become corrupt and evil. But that's always not the case. And when you think that sometimes, as Batman realized, you don't know. You think that you have a scope on a person, but then you realize that your scope is off. You're not adjusting for the wind. You're not adjusting for the distance. That's a sniper kind of term thing there. But you're just not getting the right kind of look at the person, and then your shot is off. And Batman had to realize that about Superman. So it's sometimes we look at a person and we think that because they have certain things, they've achieved certain things, that they have to do certain evil things to get there, or that they're going to become evil and begin to step on people. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that is true, because if it was, then that means everybody who runs every country in the world is evil, and humanity is just doomed. And no matter who we put up there, who goes up there, they're going to become corrupt and evil as well. And if that's the case, just go live in the woods, on an island, on a farm or something by yourself. But hey, y'all have a great day. That was the deep dive and review. Enjoy yourself. Remember Uncle Ren's popcorn. And for this one, we're going to use confetti. There's multiple candy flavors of popcorn, because this movie just has so many things going on in it, and it was a good movie anyway. But y'all have a great day. My greatness is non-negotiable, and so is yours.